Hey, everybody, and welcome to this episode. I'm Jester Borris with I Want to Be a GM, and we are new for 2023.
Yeah, I made it.
New year.
So, again, Jester Borris, and joining me today, starting on this side,
Gwydion the Long-Winded.
And Troy, the Planescape guy.
Quinn the Fighter.
yep, special guest Quinn the Fighter. Yay, Quinn the Fighter! Okay.
I'm gonna be here every third Sunday.
And a great
Maybe.
round of indifference goes on.
That was pretty good. So, for those of you that don't know, we are I Want to Be a GM, and our goal as a group is to help players make that transition from playing to running games, moving to the other side of the screen. And I wanted to tell you a little bit about who we are as well, if you don't happen to know who we are. And I'd like to have Gwydion go ahead and introduce himself.
Short.
Hi, I'm Gwydion the Long-Winded.
Right.
And I've been playing, actually helped bring D&D into this town in 1974. Yeah, I'm that old. And have played through pretty much all the editions, love them all. Currently live in Pathfinder 1.0 and enjoy that. Met these guys in a place called the SCA at sca.org, and we've been friends for quite some time, and cohorts, and D&D is just a passion for all of us. I've got a lot of experience. I've made a lot of mistakes, and like to give you guys a little bit of insight, a little bit of teaching, some classes, and go over some areas that will help you not make my mistakes. Troy?
Troy, the Planescape guy. Started rolling dice in 1986. So, yeah, I'm old as well. I started in first edition, the original hardbacks. Loved it. Bought them all, read them all, and I've been playing pretty much ever since. We got the second edition. I fell in love with Planescape. It's a world setting. We'll talk a little bit about that in another show. But I love it. Lady of Pain. I don't know.
And
I played
everything.
I played a lot of other things besides D&D as well over the years, and sometimes my experiences from those game systems pull over. I've played a lot of GURPS, and I've played some stuff from Palladium and some Catan stuff, and pull all that in for inspiration for different games.
And his session zeros are top notch. That would be.
Yeah, I'm just making sure Mr. Producer is caught up with us over there.
Yeah, I'm good.
I
I
turned you
was
guys off.
thinking about if the Lady of Pain would be okay with you wearing that shirt there.
That's because I'm not openly pronouncing my love for her in public.
You're just phone fingering.
Wait, you do love her, right?
I can't discuss that.
All right, so
Who's next to introduce?
if I could get some feedback there from Mr. Producer.
He's
Who's out
there?
Which camera? Which camera?
He's
It's
there.
on us right
YouTube
now.
Cameras. The one
There we
that's-
go.
The one that's going down the table.
So, for myself, I am Jester Borris. I like a lot of sci-fi and darker themes. I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons and things of that nature, but I've also played Vampire the Masquerade. A big fan of BattleTech. Star Wars is the one that I prefer to play in. I like to focus on story and character development as part of my gameplay. But I also like blowing up stuff, which is why we get into shenanigans and shooting stormtroopers all the time in Star Wars. So, as we give advice and help people that are out there, you'll probably see that I'll focus a lot on how your story is developed or how your story is going to be affected by a world setting choice or a character change or things of that nature. Since ultimately what we're playing through are the stories and the settings are sort of here or there depending on what you're after.
Mhm.
Quinn?
My name is Quinn the Fighter, real name Quinn. I've been playing D&D since the 4th edition Red Box came out in I don't know what year. Moved to Springfield, and we are now... I took over a D&D group for the Missouri State University, and I have been playing with them for a very long time. I met you at work, I suppose.
Yeah.
And now I am part of this. This is my first time being an actual part of the I Want to Be a GM family, and I'm super happy to be here, guys. My preferred method of play is horror and post-apocalyptic themed games. And my preferred system of choice is Savage Worlds, which I will be talking about later in the year.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
So-
his preferred persona is Evil GM.
Yeah, he was kind of killing some players over there on the
Oh,
Halloween.
yeah.
Characters. You kill characters,
Yeah,
not
that's
players.
Nah,
Not
players.
players,
Always
characters.
players.
Much like you and the Lady of Pain refused to testify against me.
Yes. So who's
Alleged.
Artie Goose?
Oh.
I don't know.
So, hey, the Artie Goose is out there on our chat.
So Troy's here, and I'll just give you an idea. That's Artisan Goose.
I can't.
You have your glasses
It's
on.
not artisan, it's artesian.
Either.
Artesian Goose. Okay.
There's not an E. It is, anyway.
Okay, well, I can't spell it when I'm reading it, so.
I can read my reading.
Anyway, yes, thank you everybody for joining us. I do really appreciate that.
Hey, Jan.
So we're gonna talk a little bit now about some of the things that we do here at I Want to Be a GM. If you're not familiar with everything that we've got going on, we've developed from our workshops and in-person only and game stores, which you can still find us. But we've now got a YouTube channel, a Discord server, this Twitch channel, and we still do our workshops. We do GM roundtables live. We have digital events on Discord. And you'll be finding us at Facebook and several conventions this year where we plan to be running some of our special events in a convention setting. They're very cool. So be sure to catch us. We'll let you know what that schedule is and where you can find us.
Indeed.
So I guess we need to talk a little bit about what we did last year, guys. We did already on it.
that was quite involved. Went through all the old classes. Went through the original classes. I mean, there was so much more that we did.
Well, let's start then. We'll structure a little bit with TremendaCon.
Yeah.
So TremendaCon was that was our first year attending,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was their first year, to be fair. It was their first year as an event.
Mhm.
And so everybody that went didn't really know what to expect from it. TremendaCon's focus as a con is on creative content and content creators and anything and everything that you need to know how to do to get on the internet.
And charities.
And charities, yes. So we went as I Want to Be a GM. And of course, we wanted to play games,
Right.
because that's where we have our most fun. So we set up our table, and again, it was our first year, so some things didn't go as well as hoped, but we did have a lot of fun. We did meet some people, and we're going to be going again this year. So if you're going to TremendaCon, be sure and look us up and get in one of our games that we play in there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great company. They've got a great ideas. They've got great ideals. They put on a phenomenal convention. It was big at that time. It's gonna get huge. So look for it. Plan early. Come on out. There's going to be even more stuff. We've got a lot of campaigns that we put on. We even will teach people how to play D&D while we're there. We'll hold training classes at each one of the conventions. We generally try to open up a spot to train for D&D because that's fun too.
What was some of your guys' favorite times at TremendaCon last year?
I mean, certainly helping you guys out with your custom romper room game. That's always fun. I liked helping you guys run it. I loved playing it with you guys.
So Romper Room is Adventures in Babysitting. It's a brainchild of mine. I take full blame and some credit. It's 3 babysitters, or brave heroes, who are going to be watching 3 kinder children for 3 hours, and it's played in Lifetime. And we had an actual family where the parents played the babysitters and the kids played the babysitters. The
It's
parents
backwards.
played
the
the
parents,
babies.
Yes.
So, and it was on like Donkey Kong before we even said lay on. I mean, it was before we rolled the first set of dice. Mom's yelling at the babysitters, suck it up, old man.
The mom playing one of the kinders was on top of the roof of the house.
On the roof of the house.
Before anything started, and the kids who were the babysitters were looking around trying to find everybody. Here's somebody in a mud puddle. Here's somebody over here playing with stuff like that they shouldn't be playing with. And where's the third? And they look up, and the kid, just like a parent, you get down here right this instant. And mom had been waiting for this her whole life since she had these kids, and she went, suck it, old man. The place went up. The whole place went up.
Well, this is,
And that's
so I rewrote the intro to the game. for the starting position of the three kids,
Right.
where one is in the yard playing with his puppy, the other one's on the house, and the other one is not yet to be seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because the other guy, he leaned over and says, "Hey, can I be pretty much anywhere I want to be?" I'm like, yes, you can.
Yes.
And
you mention it.
and that makes the game start off just right into the chaos.
And
Which,
the pacifier of invisibility just adds to it.
Pass fire invisibility, yes.
That
Yeah.
stupid dinner bell.
Oh man, dinner bell.
So
Oh,
anyway,
man.
this was done as a charity event, and it's great
Yeah.
because we love charities. We love our local gaming stores. That's part of who I want to be a GM is we want to help our gaming stores. We want to keep them in business. We love them. If things get tough again, if we have another COVID round or something along those lines, yeah, I know. We need to all work to keep them in business because they work very hard for us. So we're all about supporting them. They support us and support our company. But things like this, like the Adventures of Babysitting, where it's $1 to play or $5 to play and so on, that goes towards the charity. And then
Yeah.
there's magic items that you can purchase in game.
Well, that was a little different because that wasn't
And-
from Indicon.
Yeah.
That was when
Yeah,
we
that
were
was
actually
that
we
Haven.
Geekmas. That was Geekmas.
no,
Haven.
that was
Oh, no,
Haven.
that was
Haven.
right.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
Haven.
Haven this year,
We've done so much. I get it confused.
I think I wound up buying that tricycle by accident.
It,
Yeah, you
it's
did.
so yeah,
Sorry.
we went to Haven. They had a was it the Extra Life Foundation? They had a
Yeah.
charity event with the Extra Life Foundation to benefit the surgery as a young 3-year-old boy
Yeah, it was
needed.
like $1,100-$1,200.
Yeah.
that we built.
So
it
Haven ended up being able to contribute out of that event over 1,000. I
Yeah.
think it was closer to 13.
Yeah.
But yeah, we took Adventures to Babysitting there with a few modifications that really amped up the insanity that module is in the first place,
Yeah.
and had a heck of a time there. We really enjoyed going to Haven.
I felt so bad. We had a new player to the game. It was the second time he'd ever played D&D ever. First time was earlier in the day. So when he was the sucker. I mean, he was the one that got tricked into ringing the dinner bell. So he spent 15 minutes of timeout from the get-go.
Well, let's tell you guys a little bit about this module because it is.
Call out to Luke and Josh of my party, Luke was the one who kept rolling the dinger bell. I'll see you guys next Tuesday.
Oh man, but yeah, here, tell them a little bit about that.
So basically, mom and dad are going out on the town with their friends and family to celebrate their anniversary. And they need some babysitters to watch their kids. Well, of course, that happens. So brave adventurers come in. They're going to watch the kids for 3 hours. It's a game played in live time. And basically shenanigans ensue from the get-go.
Right.
Because, I mean, your kids, who's going to listen to the babysitters? Nobody.
Nobody.
So dad has a job as a merchant, and he makes potions and he sells them. And over the years, he has acquired many odd magic items in the house as one form of barter or payment for one thing or another. And he's also bought his wife specific things just to help around the house. One of them that he was talking about earlier is a magic frying pan. And get this, no matter what you put in it or how long it stays in it, it will never burn.
Yeah.
What person cooking dinner at home doesn't want that?
Sounds awesome to me.
However, because it is magic, it is also a +1 frying pan if you use it as a weapon. And it gets used as a weapon quite often.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. But what's more interesting is the setup that you've got in that module, Troy. And this is the dinner bell we're talking about. So the parents want two things to happen. The kids need to eat, they can play, then they need to go to bed. Those are the three objectives presented to the adventurers who are babysitting. So the first thing they do is they go to the kitchen, food is ready, and there's a dinner bell there. Tell them about the dinner bell, Troy.
So the dinner bell in first edition, spare me, in first edition, there's a magic item called a chime of uncontrollable hunger. And that's what it is. So whoever rings that dinner bell suddenly, for the next 10 minutes or so, is going to eat food items, cooked or not. 5-pound bag of flour is still an edible food item. And he is going to eat everything he can get a hold of for the next 10 minutes. And the kids, of course, they're sitting there eating their Cheerios and looking at the sky and laughing, and then they leave. because he can't do anything about them for the next 10 minutes because he's busy.
Right, and again, it's whoever rings the bell is affected by this. It's
Yes.
not whoever hears it, just whoever rang it.
Yes.
And of course, that's your hapless adventurer who's just trying to babysit some kids.
So the 10 minutes goes on. The kids are making a mess of the house. The other babysitters are trying to wrangle them up. This always happens. And then somebody eventually gets the bright idea, hey, we can't get these kids out of the basement. We can't get them off the house. Let's ring the dinner bell because Mom said that they'll come to the kitchen. And they did the first time. So let's ring the dinner bell. Well, they all look at each other and go, that's not really a good idea. We know what happened last time.
Well, that's the thing. So, as the shenanigans progress, well, the one adventurer running out of ideas was like, I'm going to try the dinner bell again. And everybody in the table was like,
No.
and then Troy, as the GM, was like, are you sure?
Are you
The
sure?
classic, are you sure, GM? I'm touching base with you. This is the code that says, don't do this. But if you want to, I'm going to let it happen. And so he ends up with it. But I mean, I think he ultimately ended up with the dinner bell 3 times.
Three
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
Knowing subsequently what would happen to
Every
him.
time.
So
Oh, man.
after you spend 10 minutes gorging on everything, you have to make a save versus your constitution or spend the next 10 minutes throwing up.
Sure.
So he failed that and he spent 10 minutes throwing up. So everybody's chasing the kids around. Okay, kept time. We're at the 30-minute mark now. And so trying to get the kids under control. He says, well, ring the dinner bell again. And like, are you sure? And
Yeah.
he does it again. He fails and spends 10 to 15 minutes gorging on everything.
Yeah.
And then again failed and spent 10 minutes throwing up. So they're coming up on time and like, Mom and Dad are going to be here soon. Somebody needs to clean up the kitchen.
Yeah.
They're like, and I kind of look over the screen and say, why would you possibly think you need to clean up the kitchen? I mean, he is just a huge mess. Not only did he make a mess eating stuff for 30 minutes,
Yeah.
but he made another mess throwing up for 20 minutes.
Right.
All over the place.
Sure.
Yeah, somebody needs to get a mop bucket.
So that's a little bit about Adventures in Babysitting. It was a huge success, as we talked about the
Fantastic.
family
Yeah.
at
Oh, the family at
Well,
Tremendicon.
the family at Tremendicon,
Mhm.
and then when we got to go to Haven and play at Haven for their charity event, both of those around that one module, and that's just one of the events that we bring with us.
Fantastic.
It was awesome.
Again, we've got one shots. I've got 14
Oh,
one
yeah.
shots
Yeah.
that are complete, and it's got characters ready to play, ready to go. That we take to these events. Also, our classes. We got several classes. Tremendicon had cosplay.
Oh yeah,
It had incredible.
your Sailor Moon outfit was really good.
You cut me deep. They had all these get-togethers. They had classes themselves, even on voice acting, on all aspects of anything you can think of. There was somebody there and professionals. They had actors there and so on like that. Geekmas took it a step further. So
Yeah, a little bit different. So one of the things I really enjoyed, actually, going back to Tremendicon, one of the actors who was a Predator in Predator 2, at the end of the film, he wasn't the main Predator, he was one of the Predators that showed up on the ship, also did production work for the second Guyver film. He did a lot of the miniatures and figures and things, and he did a really interesting presentation about practical effects using miniatures. And that was one of the things that we got to see at Tremendicon. It was pretty cool.
yeah.
Yeah, their boards and things that they have it was really good.
Yeah.
Make me look forward to them again.
So
We
when
have-
you look at these, when you look at the cons and so on like that, don't forget to check out what kind of classes are going on. Make time for classes. You'll learn stuff. You'll meet people. You'll meet like-minded people. You can't help but learn.
Well, here's the other thing. VisionCon goes a little bit the other direction, similar to what we just had here. I think it was last weekend, 2 weeks ago. Yeah, 2 weekends ago, where we had the Missouri Comic Con. So VisionCon had a lot of guests with guest panels, question and answer for your favorite actors or artists, things of that nature.
It's kind of disappointing if you don't keep up on nerd culture.
Yeah.
You live in a box.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, have you seen,
a box
get this, Monty Python? And he's like, no. And I was like, Ministry of
What?
Silly Walks? Yes. And he doesn't know Ministry of Silly Walks.
Remove yourself from my presence.
Go ahead,
I
Scape,
constructed a box for myself over the last few years.
So
For me and my friends to roll dice in.
So don't be like Quinn. Go to panels at VisionCon. And I had a lot of fun
I
at
watch
some of the VisionCon
Summer
panels.
blockbuster movies.
But I think aside from the costume contests and stuff, I don't remember. I didn't run any games. Did you guys run any games at VisionCon? I don't remember that much last year. We were
No.
busy as heck.
No.
So, but we did also go to Geekmas and ended up running the game room there.
Mhm.
And we had several one-shots, and we ran a marathon game of Undermountain. So classic 2nd edition Undermountain, and you'll see that in the new 5th edition content as the Dungeon of the Mad Mage.
And
Yes.
two new DM training sessions.
Oh, yeah,
on
yeah,
different
yeah.
days,
Oh, you did.
which was awesome.
So we had a lot of cool stuff that we did at Geekmas was the end of the year. Easier to remember because
Yeah,
that was just a couple months ago.
Mhm.
a lot of
Um,
vendors, a lot of stuff going on.
And then, so that's kind of covers a little bit of what we did last year. And like, as far as our physical events, so the things we got coming up this year, Gwydion, what are you most excited about?
Just getting together and watching each other eat. I mean, at this age, at this
Oh, yeah.
age, I'm good with that. and the D&D
Ew.
cookbook and some of the others. So no, we've got. I tell you, this year we've got a lot of stuff planned. We're still making decisions on some aspects. We're going to go through the realms. I get to talk about Pathfinder and
Yeah.
and explain how to build a world. Our world building through all the genres and so on like that is going to be a lot of fun. I know last year we talked about all the classes, and we went from the classes from original D&D all the way through to 5e, and hit pretty much every class, every one of the core classes, and every one of the different editions, and that was a blast. And
Fireball!
we were time that. Put a timestamp on the first fireball.
We're still doing
And we'll,
word association.
and you people can play at home.
Word association.
Yeah.
Well,
so the people at home, they actually need to save against fireball.
Yeah. Roll a d20 versus spells.
That's right.
And then
What's
one
your DC?
special announcement. Guess who's not wearing pants? That's all.
We'll give you hints throughout the show.
Anyway,
So
Setting up that camera now.
yeah.
The pants camera.
Oh, jeez.
everybody's logged off.
So,
Yeah.
Everybody logged
A
off.
whole different crowd is logged on.
yeah.
New
Chan,
crowd's coming. So.
it's not all of us. I'll tell you
That's
that.
right.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, let's go. I'm gonna take a second to check in here with you guys. Mr. Producer's been talking with you a little bit here. We've got, let's see.
I'm sure-
So,
I wonder if my brother has been.
oh, he's on there all over the place.
Yeah, yes.
Oh, geez. So we got Goose. Yes, hello. See what you did there. They play D&D.
So one of the things this past year that has really got me
Chan and
excited about doing all of this is Discord and the fact that people actually react back to us. We get chat, plus we get yeah, I'm still not used to a camera. So the fact that any of you out there chat back with us while we're doing one of these shows really means a lot. And in watching some of our stuff when it finally gets to YouTube, months after the fact, and we're talking to somebody and like, oh, it just makes it so much cooler. And I never thought we'd ever get to the point we would actually have people watching us do this stupid stuff. But
we're just talking about D&D.
yeah, we're just talking about D&D.
Yeah, the
So-
4-hour sections are actually, thank you, Mr. Producer and Helper, or sometimes it's the other way around, for breaking it up into like 30-minute segments to where it's actually watchable instead of a 4 to 6 hour stream, and we apologize.
Yeah, that's a lot of Gwydion.
That's too much Gwydion in one day for
That's what the
anybody.
dragon says first thing in the morning.
Oh, geez.
Hi, Dave.
Oh,
That's
Already.
too much Gwydion.
so this past year for me in putting all this together and building all this, it really snowballed about a year and a half ago. We were looking for a game, and one thing led to another, and the next thing you know, I was like, hey, well, why don't we do this? And we did that for a while, and we started getting some positive results, and the next thing I knew, now we have a small growing empire. If I want to be a GM and helping players move behind the screens, which sounds kind of corny, but it is what we're here for. And we've helped, I don't know how many people we've helped.
It's,
it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of fun.
The
We learned stuff too from you guys.
oh yeah, you guys drive the D&D roundtables that are being held. And they used
Oh,
to be
yeah.
held on Wednesdays. They're now being held on Thursday, the first Thursday of the month.
Yep.
Is the D&D roundtable every Thursday evening? What, around 7?
7 p.m. on
7
Discord.
p.m.
7.
On Discord on the I Want to Be a GM site. We will have a gathering. The first Thursday is the D&D roundtable. After that, we may have something set up to talk about. It may be from 417gamesandevents.com, which is also our site where we try and let you know what's happening in the area, the 417 area, and when, and if we're going to be there. Which is the only reason you go. We understand this. So but we hold these Thursday nights for you and to give you information and do some interaction because, like you said, we learn stuff, and I've never stopped learning, just like I've never stopped making mistakes or talking. You.
So anyway, this is our recap of the year and also the things, some highlights for what we're going to be doing this coming year. And in case you haven't seen our video, we're going to be exploring through the realms and some world settings.
Well,
Ones that came out in first and second edition, and they've been re-releasing them. So we're going to look at some of those differences and compare and contrast, and also how to build your own.
I'll talk a little bit first about, because it's easy to get to the YouTubes and all that stuff. But I want to talk a little bit about what some of our plans are already for the events that are coming up.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're going to be at Tremendicon, and that is July 7th, 8th, and 9th here in town. Tremendicon will be at the Oasis, so
Yes.
we had a lot of good...
One of the most gorgeous locations.
It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed their layout. It's a good hotel. Their Associated Grill Fire and Ice is very good if you haven't been there in Springfield. But we're going to be there. We're going to be running games there. So come by, join in our games, make faces at us, however you want to do it. But that's not going to be an event that you want to miss either. They had a really great vendors room. The game room's going to be sort of separated from video gaming, so we're going to have a much better space this year.
Thank God.
And they had so many guests last year that I can't imagine that they're not going to have that many or more.
Mm-hmm.
And they were all high level talents. So when you go to Tremendicon, that's when you're going to want to be sure to pick up the weekend pass. We're probably going to look at some of our marathon games again. We're going to look at just a number of different things. And there's going to be a lot more going on in that event. So we're excited.
Cosplay that goes on. There's Smash tournaments. Usually you'll have that out there. And some of the vendors are our gaming stores that we love so much around here. And they will be holding tournaments as well.
Mm-hmm.
So they're learning that these events aren't just for, having stuff and stuff on sale, which I end up emptying my pockets every time we have a convention. And it's like, before I leave the house, I'd like to take this opportunity to apologize for the money I'm about to spend on my hobby, and depending on how long I drone that out, it's how much money I'm going to spend watching her head drop lower and lower. So, but they will hold tournaments and have prizes and all sorts of stuff. So, and swag. So we got swag bags for people that drop by, and because we're happy to see you, and we really appreciate you hitting that subscribe button.
Hey, Artisan had a quick question I want to address. Artisan, we have had live, like a live studio audience before. We had a couple of our friends out. So you guys may know Alex from the Hoarding Dragon. He's been with us before. Quinn's been out with us before. We have had people out as part of the studio audience. Right now, the studio doesn't support much more than this setup. As you can see, the cameras are kind of stressed to what we've got as far as our equipment goes for right now.
I'm really trying.
And it's keeping Mr. Producer quite busy.
Yeah.
But, one of the things we have thought about doing is doing one of our live stream events at a game store where there's a little bit more space, so we can go to Haven or CK and just have some fun and hang out with everybody there. Graffiti. Yeah.
My town.
We do want to get, better associated with Graffiti because they've got a great store and a lot of gamers there. So as we make time for things, we'll get out that way as well. But I lost where I was going with that, but I did want to address that currently the studio's not set up for it, but we have some ideas about getting out. And we always try to stream, especially when we're at a con or other convention or live. So just to make something accessible if you can't be there, and that way you can hang out with
I mean,
things.
we even did that live unboxing at Haven for that Pokemon.
That was not live; it was recorded,
Oh, still.
and it only
I was there live.
Well, yes, you were there live.
You just gotta send stuff out, man.
So when we're
Make it
thinking
live.
about a studio audience, what should we charge for ticket price?
One beer.
We should pay them
No, what? Please,
$10 to not leave for 4 hours.
That's right. And a swag bag.
but they have to say
They have to
Gwydion.
sign a consent form for the
Artisan says that he
handcuffs.
is willing to accept $86 to be a part of the member of the audience.
So,
There you go.
but getting on to
Cheetos.
so we had with Cheetos.
$10
I'm
worth
intrigued
of
about
Cheetos.
Cheetos here.
$10 worth of
I
Cheetos.
got a small bag of Quinn.
Oh, as
Okay,
a-
so Terminicon, we're going to be there. We're going to play games. We're going to do something. We're not exactly sure.
Yeah.
We'll hammer out details when we probably
Yeah.
within a month before.
yeah,
And
we'll have
they
a
also
full list.
direct us. The ones that run the show.
Yeah,
There's areas they need help in, and there's a lot of times we'll go, we can do that. We get that helium disease.
yeah,
You know, yeah, we can do that. And when people say, learn how to say no, I say it all the time. No problem. We'll be there. We'll do that.
You learn how to say no. We can do that.
Yeah,
we
no,
can-
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I can say no.
but
Sure,
it-
yeah.
It was just fair. But we're planning on being at VisionCon this year, which is gonna be October 13, 14 that weekend. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
We should celebrate my birthday because I'm on the 10th.
Yeah, I'm not celebrating your birthday there.
I might buy you a dice bag.
I will
Thank you.
continue to forget your birthday all the time.
I'm
your
coming
birthday?
around. I'll buy your entry fee if I'm coming around.
But VisionCon later this year. That's they're gonna have a little bit of horror crossovers for Friday the 13th. But horror is not their normal convention stuff, so I would anticipate that we're going to see a lot of really cool horror cosplay. But I'm also excited to get some of that October themed gaming done as well.
Yeah.
So
Those are Ghostbusters will probably be there.
the
They're-
Ghostbusters, yeah, all the
they're
time.
a fun group.
No. There's an Ozark Ghostbusters who look for real
That's-
ghosts, not the Ghostbusters.
Oh yeah.
Two completely different sets of people.
One has proton packs and the other doesn't.
Yeah,
My bad.
They had video recorders and I don't know.
So
Quick correction for Channy. I'm a Virgo.
oh no,
Not
there
that.
we go.
No, she said virgin.
No, not that either.
Nobody can read. Why are you guys trying to read?
I don't know. So
You failed that check.
If I make for VisionCon coming up, VisionCon coming up is going to be a big event for me personally and for us as a group. I kind of volunteered just for a project at Geekmas.
Right.
I think is where I put the final nail in my coffin for that.
Mhm.
Some of you out there may know Joe Ryan. He's been at pretty much every event in the Springfield area for the last 20 plus years. He spends his time in a wheelchair. He has a variety of ailments and too long and horrible to speak of here. However, his mind is extremely still very active. And I first met Joe at VisionCon many, many years ago while he was playing. He did have somebody that's helping him with dice and different things. Kind of a little gopher to go here. And I was like, that would be really handy to have somebody like that could just do stuff for me and I could just sit back.
Well, you had kids, and then we grew up.
Yeah, I didn't stick around. Anyway, I was talking with Joe at Geekmas, and he pitched an idea for an adventure to me. And I said, that sounds like a really cool thing. I said, you know what, Joe? Here's what we're going to do for you with your adventure. We're going to flesh it out and write it up and sell it. We're going to have it for sale at VisionCon as an item that you can purchase. It's going to be a fundraiser, money for him. He lives off a disability. And if anybody knows how much money you get on disability, if you have a real disability, you're not doing much of anything. So we're going to make this adventure for him. It's going to be a 5th edition. We'll have it there for sale, and we're also going to play it. So
I'm making the maps.
that's what we're doing for Joe for VisionCon this year. So I asked, please come, bring some money, buy that for Joe.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing. That's what I'm doing for VisionCon.
Yeah. I don't know about you guys.
I know about you guys. You betcha.
So yeah, we love that. We love anything that's charity based with any one of our local stores or any one of the cons, something like that. We love anything charity based. We're all about that, and about again helping you guys, helping them, and playing. It gives us a chance to actually play and get outside of work, home, sleep, rinse, repeat.
Yeah.
And I know you guys appreciate
You can have
the
some-
rinse.
That's
So,
what
Yeah.
if you can have some fun and help somebody out where you're doing it. Why not?
This is
Absolutely.
the part of why I spend a lot of effort on Discord. I like that that's a place where the community can come together and you don't have to rely on us. I think we do a pretty good job in our respective areas of focus, but the way I play is not necessarily the way you play. But when you have a question, if you can find advice from several sources, you'll find the advice that works for your game and takes you in the direction that you want to go. And so I've really been glad to see where somebody can come to the community and get help from another community member. We may have organized it, and we're definitely appreciative of the feedback, but it's not about us. So that's the other thing. We're definitely going to make sure that we take care of Joe. We're going to see if that's something that we can do moving forward for other people as well. We've just got a lot of things that we're working on. VisionCon is going to be where we execute that, and we'd appreciate your support as we do that. So thank you.
we've got a tentative schedule for the world building that's coming up this year. The way he's got it set up is basically now, new year, new worlds. That's us today. And we're going to be talking about that in a general sense. We've got Faerun and the Forgotten Realms, March 19th, and Katie will be here.
Yes.
By the way, as before we get too far away from it, I'd like to give a shout out to Hawk at Fanatics and the Fan for Geekmas, for inviting us. We ended up helping support the event. It's something we're going to do every year. It's just a nerd fest, and it's awesome. Well,
Every year?
I'll be there. I mean, you can stay here and stay on the couch. I go to that couch now. So it's but yeah, real shout out because that was a blast, and a lot of people, a lot of fun. We've got Ravenloft coming up April 16th.
Mark this down on your calendar.
That's right, with Dustin.
Actually, yeah. So that one's gonna be.
Other than Dustin.
Well, no, that Dustin
He's not-
McCrickard is now in Florida, so
Oh, okay.
we're gonna have to
Florida.
figure out how to get some of
He wanted to get away from us.
So other than Dustin, I'll put that in here.
that. This is what happens when you type it, then it's permanent, and then it's wrong.
May 21st, Spelljammer, and I'm gonna put this out there because Katie, can we borrow your ship?
Yeah.
Her dad is a builder.
Oh,
It is-
it's
I
beautiful.
want to buy one.
Oh, it's
so bad.
massive.
it's
and he's
almost
like-
3 feet long.
He's like,
nice.
what do you need? Oh, I'll make that for you, honey.
Yeah.
I want that, Dad.
He's a replicator.
Yeah. June 18th is Kieran Dragonlance.
Grin.
Kieran.
What? Yes. Does
Karen?
someone say something?
What?
I've had
Not Quinn.
Oh,
Karen, or,
sorry, I'm deaf in this ear. You know.
I've been with a lot of women in my day. So
Can somebody bring Grandpa his medicine, please?
Bring me all the medicine.
So the we're gonna be doing Greyhawk on July the 16th. If any of us survive July the 4th, August 20th will be.
Planescape.
Thank you.
Oh,
That was huge.
I
That
got
was
two milk crates.
He has everything Planescape, guys.
Yep.
September 17th, building your world and playing in it. And October 22nd is going to be Halloween and Monsters again with Quinn.
Yeah. Stop killing
I
people.
have no clue what I
And,
want to do yet.
I'll be
I've got a couple months to prepare.
at some point in time. I'll be filming Pathfinder 1.0. I promise I'll do some work on 2.0 and get familiar with it. I love everything, but there's things I'm just not interested in. I live in 1.0, but I need to learn 2.0 just because it's the P word. And and put
Move along.
put the nuances up. again, who's not wearing pants? So,
Hey.
yeah. So the
This chair's cold.
so it's the floor, but the made you snort.
Oh, jeez. You're fired. You're fired.
Fired. Oh, boy, I can't wait for
Star
Star Wars
Wars.
to blow up on that one.
Boris is going to take care of us with Star Wars and talking about that. Rune and Steel. I want a little introduction with Rune and Steel here. This is a great time for that.
So Rune and Steel is a game system. It's based on Vikings,
Is it in camera?
and it's completely
Yeah,
it's
it's fine.
the combat and everything in it's completely different than anything else that's out there.
Mhm.
The way that they use dice for different skills and for combat, for everything. If you like Vikings, you like watching them on TV, you would love
Josh.
the system. First time I played it, it was on a demo at Moon City. They were there showing it off, and he did a, what do you call it, where people are giving money to,
Kickstarter.
yeah, Kickstarter. He did a big Kickstarter campaign. Shut up.
Your money.
And I'm the old one.
I need some pills too. So they did you can reach grab that box over there.
Start the hashtag get grandpa some pills.
No.
So that's Rune Steel, and it's a Viking game base. Now we had these guys in the studio a
Hashtag
while
pills.
back,
Mhm.
and
Where are they based out of?
Actually, Ozark or Nixa.
yeah, they live in Nixa.
Yeah.
Nixa here. It's pretty in
Just
there.
want to let everybody know they're local.
Yeah, they're very very local. Nice guys. A guy and his son built this. They spent over 7 years putting it all together.
Mhm.
So the system is really unique. It's really good. It's a lot of fun. I played it twice. Had fun both times. We're going to have him in the studio again to do this with us, and hopefully we can keep it as a shorter version. We had too many left turns into the obscure.
It's fine. There's a lot to cover because it's very cool. But
There is, yeah.
yeah, we're working with their set right now to see what their schedule's like to be able to bring that special to you. But it is a very neat system, particularly that it's locally. That the creators
Yeah.
are local. We want to be able to bring that to you. They are planning their convention runs and that sort of stuff. And I don't even actually have their website right now. I kind of feel
I think it's runeandsteel dot something.
that's something. There you go.
Not Facebook.
Got something.
Yeah.
AOL.com.
This is why we don't let them on the internet anymore.
It's a Rune and Steel is the name of all their Facebook, YouTube, and things. They have a really cool. They paid some money to have a promo video done about their game system.
Yeah.
It looks like a movie that you want to go pay money to see because it's a really well done video.
Well, it's all stock footage, but the voice actor that
Yeah.
read their script was good.
Yes, it's. I was like, oh, this is the movie. I want to go see it.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, it's our game. Oh, I want to play it. Get it here.
Yeah. So
And it's good stuff. It's good stuff.
these guys have not been able to hold themselves back about talking about our next project coming up this year. So we're just gonna, if we haven't seen it yet, Dungeons and Dragons Through the Realms is going to be our project for this year as we cover the different world settings that you can play in. And we're focusing particularly on world settings that have been reproduced or carried forward through Dungeons and Dragons. And that's starting with Faerun, Wizards of the Coast, standardized Faerun as their world setting since 3rd edition. Ravenloft has been a big one with Curse of Strahd and Van Richten's Guide. And we've received also several campaigns for Faerun with Waterdeep being a very popular city to be in. We're going to go then, and we're looking at Greyhawk is one that we're going to get a book for later this year. We've already got Dragonlance late last year. Planescape, Spelljammer's already out. So one of the things that we'll be looking at with that project is helping people create their worlds by looking at what exists as a current world setting. So if you're interested in playing more in Faerun or Forgotten Realms or Spelljammer, we'll show you what's available so that you'll have the opportunity to get that information, expand your game, and have more fun in those areas. But we're also going to be taking a look at the elements that are necessary to create a world, should you happen to be working on a world of your own. And we'll be highlighting the examples of the 10 points that we have identified across all genres, whether it's Star Wars, we've got some Wild West, Deadlands stuff that Savage Worlds started in.
Yep.
And of course, all the fantasy settings that we've seen. So we'll be, going through and say, this is how Greyhawk managed to accomplish these things. This is how Ravenloft did those same things. And then eventually, as Gwydion mentioned in our schedule, we'll get to creating your world and playing in it. So you'll have some background, you'll get some information about the commercial worlds that are available, how they're constructed, and then we're going to go through, and that's going to be, less informational and more instructional when we get to that point. Let's go and help you get an outline, help you get some skeletal structure in your world setting, figure out the things that you need to have so you can start playing your game, telling your stories.
Now we have full classes. We got several classes. And in our class, we actually have a world building class that is really in depth. It is a half a day long.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of steps, and we look at world creation and population. We look at populating your world.
Oh, yeah.
And working with all of the different aspects of it. So, and that's really involved. And what we're going to do here in these sessions is not quite go that deep, but we want to give you the nuances. And even though some of them will be the same, there's aspects of each world that has to be adhered to make it part of that world. It can still be your campaign. You can still have your own home brew, but if you're going to do it in this world, or you want to build something in this world, or build a world of Pathfinder or Planescape or something along those lines, especially Planescape, that's, it's an open universe or dimensions. It's an open everything.
Always close the door behind you.
That's the truth. We want to give you the basics of being able to do that. And you'll hear me talking about Incarnate, which I think is one of the most phenomenal programs out there. Just go ahead and buy the full version and pay for it once a year, because you can make maps on it so easy. You can put a grid on it. You can keep a grid off of it. You can zoom in and do things to a more detailed fashion. There are other programs that we will mention. Some of them are scripting that lets you get all the information down onto script rather than building it to where you have the information at hand for when you are building it. But we'll go over the programs later, not in this show, but
Yeah.
Just real quick, a disclaimer: any of them that we recommend are ones that we've personally used, and we try to recommend the ones that are free.
Yeah.
And if they do have a fee, we'll let you know about that up front. We'll say, hey, it's really cool, but you do got to pay for it.
Incarnate has a free version.
Yes.
Please go ahead and just buy it. I think it's like $20 a
Just-
year.
He has
Are
a
we
finder's
sponsored?
fee.
And I don't get no finder's fee.
How do you own 500% of the company's stock?
Oh, dude, that would be awesome.
Buy Incarnate now.
Why do you have a Hypnotoad?
It's so yeah.
There are really a lot of great online tools out there for building everything from a character to a city to the whole world and all the maps. Just remember, wherever you start is where it's going to finish, because once you start on any one of those different platforms, it's really difficult to take your stuff to another one. So shop around before you start it.
Yeah, World Anvil is one of those script sites that's great. That you put a lot of information down. The communities with these particular companies, especially their Discord sites, are over the top. Dungeon Alchemist. I've been with them before before they were even doing Kickstarter, and was researching with them, and then got on board way before they were published. They are phenomenal. It's 3D dungeons. If there's certain aspects of that will help you build dungeons specifically, but Dungeon Alchemist is another great program out there. Again, Gwydion the Long-Winded will stop talking about programs and stuff that will happen in 3 months.
Well, it's all right. So
Gwydion the Long-Winded needs to reinflate.
he did, yeah. So, Mr. Producer, if you could get chat up on the screen for everybody, they can kind of see themselves there. I just want to take a second and say hello and thank you for everybody who's being here. Unsweetened cornflakes do make you an adult, but they make you sad.
That's true.
Aw, this tastes
Man,
like
I'm,
sadness.
That's why I'm a little cuckoo for Cocoa King.
It's not the 1970s in Miami. Not it.
Same thing. Adult.
I like
people sad.
Toast
Yes,
Crunch.
So,
adult. is sad.
adulting would not recommend 1 star.
Yes.
All the memes.
Just do not want to do again.
So
All right.
these
It's a
guys
trap.
out there,
Don't
check that
eat
out.
this.
That looks pretty decent. I don't know why you guys are on there twice.
Because
You
that-
guys-
because we didn't set up that camera for this shot.
but they're extra special. No.
See what happens when you don't do the right drugs as a child.
Yeah, we only did the wrong ones.
It's all fine.
Great,
But
we're-
again, it's great to have everybody with us. Wanted to say thank you.
That's
If-
next month.
Yeah, so that's some next month stuff.
Next month.
Let's talk a little bit here, guys. We'll cover.
No. No.
So from the audience, I want to hear
What we
if there's
did.
a particular
Just- yeah,
episode
just
of
that.
Through the
we
Realms
did.
that you're
What we're gonna
interested
do.
in. Again, Faerun, Ravenloft,
You got this.
Spelljammer, Kryn, which is Dragonlance, Greyhawk, Planescape, and then we've got specials for Savage Worlds, Star Wars. Oh, there he goes. He's all excited. And we lose our camera there, little brother.
No, but that's just my phone.
Oh, just your.
His is fine. My phone is crap.
Yours. Okay, good.
The
I-
chat is updating,
It's crap-
but the camera
crap,
is
Just making sure,
Nice.
because it's
As
how it
long as you're
happens.
slowing down
But
on frame rate,
it'll-
thank you.
Let us know if there's one that you're particularly interested in. But I want to review a little bit. Last year's project was D&D Through the Ages.
Yeah.
That was a
And
blast.
all we could get Troy to say was Fireball.
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 So-
Fireball.
oh, jeez. But that was a lot of fun, actually. Chan in particular,
PTSD.
we had a chance to hear from Chan
Some-
where she had not seen a lot of that old content before. And so if it's not anything that you've seen, it'd be worth checking out. We go and we start from the original release of 1974 White Box. And we
Wrong
get-
camera.
he's,
Wrong
oh, he's-
camera.
Will you stop it making me switch
what
cameras
are
all
you
over the
doing
place?
with the books now?
Help me, chat. It's falling apart.
Shenanigans.
Savage
So
So the original,
Hold it. He didn't even get that shot yet.
it's
the
all good.
original.
Yeah,
Yeah.
72 books.
Yeah. A lot like our books in second edition, where each individual book covers a separate topic. They came out originally with 3 books
Can I-
in the box,
Yeah.
and
I just
they
You've never
started
seen it?
doing supplemental printings, and they would have additional books add to it until you have a total of, I think it's 11
Yeah.
for all of them.
Yeah, and there's also a new drinking game associated with the old videos, and that's whenever I do a different voice.
Yeah,
As
oh
a
my
voice
gosh.
actor,
Do it with something
to-
light.
Yeah.
I
So
remember.
Practice
bring
my
us into
craft.
the wide there, little brother.
Oh, here's somebody that says he had the original box when he was a kid.
Who was that, Waylon?
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked with him the other night. Waylon joined us on Discord. Good to see you here, Waylon. Thanks for
Yeah.
coming up to the stream.
Very much.
But yeah, the particularly the white box is some stuff, but the hardback first edition, we cover the way the game has changed and grown up. We then, as Gwydion was talking about earlier, break down some of the classes that have been with the game since the beginning of the game.
Question for our viewers. What class was not in the original 3-book release?
Dun, dun, dun. So,
Dun, dun, dun. Question later.
what,
Answer
so,
later.
so now we got to figure out which class was not in the original 3-book release and who's still not wearing pants.
This
Maybe,
chair.
maybe the answer is the same. Who
It
knows?
could be the same.
I don't know why you guys keep complaining about the cold. I've got plenty of hair that keeps me.
Yeah, Sasquatch.
I'm gonna burn that chair.
Not
Uh,
everyone is as proficient as Brady.
So, I will warn you, I've got it broken up into different, what are those, playlists.
Mhm.
The full playlist is 30 videos long from start to finish as we went over the year worth of Through the Ages. But I've got it by edition, and I've also broken it down by class. If you've got a particular interest, those playlists will let you focus in and check out what's going on there in D&D Through the Ages, now up on I Want to Be a GM's YouTube. That's youtube.com/@ I Want to Be a GM.
So according to our chat lines,
Uh-oh.
the consensus is that Gwydion's not wearing pants.
Joke's on you. It's Mr. Producer.
but that was a good guess. And,
Yeah.
and you know, if it was any other show, you'd be right. So, yeah.
It's really weird when we're at a live event, but
It's it's called a kill you bastards. So,
But Chan did get the
good.
question correct. It was a thief. There was no thief in the original 3 books release. He
Yeah.
was he came out in a supplemental release in 1976.
Yeah.
yeah. So we had wizard, we had cleric, and we had the fighting man.
magic user.
Oh, magic user. We didn't even call him wizard. Magic user.
Magic user, fighting man.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what was interesting still, because we didn't see the distinction broken away until 3rd edition, elf and dwarf were considered separate classes with
Classes,
restrictions within.
Yeah.
Not that you had a race that then had some training. What we would see since 5th edition now, where this is my character and this is their job, sort of.
And you had law, neutrality, and chaos.
Yeah, none
That
of this
was
good
it.
evil stuff. Get out
That
of
was
here.
it. Just didn't have the 9 realms, of
Yeah.
alignment going. You didn't have the different races and getting to pick a class after that, which we all know and love today.
One of the things that was interesting is some of the supplements we had Blackmore, and we actually had Greyhawk, but it wasn't a world setting.
No.
Not yet.
Yeah. So we did get some extra flavor, some NPCs, and some cool things there. But
Blackmore came up with the assassin, and then they
Yeah, they
quickly
are.
shot that down. And
Yeah.
said, no, that's too scary. And
I do want to show this here. If you can get me, Mr. Producer, this guy is about to hit the most dangerous beholder you have ever seen.
you mean beach ball?
The
beach
beach
ball.
the beach holder.
Shoulder.
This,
There you go. Nice shot. Nice shot.
Nice shot.
So this was the level of artwork that we had.
Oh my! I'm looking at the stream. That is fantastic.
Look at this thing, Quinn.
Wow. Yeah, that thing is.
This is what
That's
happens.
some courage the
No, wait,
cowardly
give
dog
them Wilderness
style
Adventures.
crap.
Give them the Wilderness
Yeah,
That's
Adventures.
what I'm
It's-
looking for. Where's
it's-
Wilderness?
No, it's
No,
two
no,
books down.
Two books
down.
But this is what
Right there,
happens
right there.
if
Oh,
you ask a friend for some artwork.
Yeah.
you get
Yeah,
a,
no, that's
Yeah.
Wilderness
No,
Adventures.
that
Show
was
them
their
that one.
friend's kid. Is what that one was.
this one.
Gary Gygax
That's
actually
our
paid his
weird
friends $5 per
Griffin-
picture. Yeah.
Yeah.
Griffin thing because it's got a horse body, it's got Pegasus wings, but it's got a bird beak.
Yeah, but it's
well,
also some sort of a weird goose neck.
Its neck is too long.
Yeah.
That's
Him
the-
neck
As
long.
it turned out, their first artist, he was so anxious to be a part of D&D. He wasn't a real artist. He traced other art,
Mm.
called it his own, submitted it, they printed it, and they later found out that it was actually other people's art. They got in trouble for that. He got in trouble for
Yeah,
saying
If that's
Hobbit
true, then whose
instead of
eyeball
Halfling.
and lips are that?
I
And,
don't know, but it.
There's a light.
So then we get, but you can see
Frankenstein place.
how the artwork has changed. And this is a really cool notebook, but it's a reproduction of the red box art, the basic set that came out just after this.
Yeah.
Man, that'd be a cool T-shirt.
We did have like all,
I got a cool T-shirt.
but yeah, so we definitely got some art upgrades when TSR was like, I think we're gonna spend some money on this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's one of the things that's exciting about the world settings is as the game grew up and it got some backing, we get these world settings. It's full box, 3 to 5 books, full sets of maps, and we're gonna be able to show you like the full set of Forgotten Realms, not just the Sword Coast. They also had supplemental for Underdark, Undermountain,
And the
whole-
city system. They came out with a box set. It had books and maps and maps and maps on different cities, including Waterdeep, right down to, Joe the barber is at this street corner. This is his address. This is what's in his back room. I mean, they really went into it.
I still work with Forgotten Realms city systems. It's great for any campaign. It gives you
Yeah.
all the way down to street level and stuff.
Mhm.
If you want to play with some serious backgrounds and so on, it is still viable. The Greyhawk maps are still viable.
Yes.
Empire of the Petal Throne, something not a lot of people talk about, not a lot of people know about. 78. It is a different system. The maps are gorgeous. That's
so we got. This is actually some of the stuff from
Mystara.
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 Nastara.
Yeah,
Mystara.
but
Mystara. Yeah, and when we talk about making maps,
Yeah.
there's all these different symbols and things like that, and a lot of these programs have those built in. You don't have to make them. So
Map legends.
look for the things that you need to on the map legends that have what you want to make your system.
Here's a good thing, Gwydion. Why, with 5th edition being so prevalent in the homebrew, would somebody want to go and get an old box set world setting for their game?
Oh, I know. I know.
Because
I know.
number one, not everybody has it.
Yeah.
There we go.
Number two, they are put together in such a way as they are highly detailed, and they give you the cities. And a lot of times the cities aren't named. You see symbols, so you can put anything you want there. Or they'll have major cities, and then others in between that you can claim as your own. There's areas that you can claim as your own. Also, if it's a similar setup like the new Greyhawk, it may have totally different maps. You can use the old system.
Sure.
But it's just like some of our instruction is going to go across the genres. These maps go across the genres. Even with Star Wars,
Right.
when you land, you've got something there. There are some maps that have EPT has an area that's called the unknown lands, or it's just unknown, and you can claim that and build your own world. And there's build your own game, build your own homebrews, and do things to bring into the known area. But it's fleshed out. It speeds up the process. It's already fleshed out. So now you just take a section and build on it. So
Troy, you were enthusiastic. What do you got to add to Gwydion? Why would somebody want to go and get one of these box sets or world settings?
What I see in the 5th edition material that's released out there now is, even though a lot of the books, like Ravenloft, will have a lot about the world setting in the story that they're telling and that you get to go and explore. The way they used to release material when it was a box set that was the world, not the adventure.
Right.
So you can take any setting, a pre-made material from 2nd edition, and set any story anywhere on there that you felt like it. So even though it was already made, you still had a lot of flexibility to it. And even though the world setting is pre-made, it's not 100% done. So there's, like Greyhawk, for instance, it's probably 60% done, which leaves you as the DM a lot of space out there to build your own towns and valleys and little cities and a bandit kingdom, little fiefdom. I mean, there's just all kinds of stuff to add into it to make it yours. Now, if you start from scratch, good luck to you. It's a lot of work to build one from scratch.
Troy, here, this is Planescape.
This is box 1 of Planescape. And this is the basic world setting, if you will. However, when you get to Planescape, one of the things you learn about is that, okay, let's go. We got Greyhawk, we got Forgotten Realms.
We'll show not so much about Planescape, but this is what it takes just to get the idea of the setting.
Yeah, because that's the first
and
of what?
Then
5
they
boxes?
released the supplemental content.
Yeah, this is
That's the adventure.
This is a adventure.
Let me see that, Matt.
Somebody may say like a one shot. This probably would take you 3 or 4 nights to play in that one. But in the box set that sets the world setting, we have a DM's guide.
maps.
We have
Tons of
multiple maps, and I've got 4 of these mounted. So there's more than this. But the monster manual has been taken out, and so has
Oh yeah, you got a couple of the books sitting.
a couple of these. And this book is about the city of Sigil.
Just one city.
Yes.
The whole book, one city.
One book. It's 87 pages long. So if I set out to make this kind of material, I would go nuts and my players would never play because I'm going to spend months and months making this world how I need it to be in order to put my adventure into it. So after you build the world, then you have to go build your adventure, and that's even more work for you, the DM.
Now
So the
we have people that are doing this right now, and we are helping everywhere we can because they are actually building a world, and it's what they have in their mind and how they want it. But they will use characters and classes from 5e, but the world itself And those aspects, they are building. So there's people out there, we want to help with that, but we also want to let you know that there's stuff out there that a lot of people don't have, a lot of people don't know. Forgotten Realms city system is still for sale. eBay, has everything.
It's on
and
eBay.
There's other places too.
There's a couple of websites that are republishing them, and you
Yes.
can go and get a reprint of any one of them for around $20.
Yeah.
Which is not too awful. When you look at some of the other 5th edition material being at $50, but it's very easy for you to sit down with a pre-made module. This one came from 2nd edition, and we want to play it in 5th edition. We run across a monster. I pull out the 5th edition monster manual.
Yeah.
We have a bad guy. You spend 10 minutes. You can convert his stats and his skills over to 5th edition in 10 minutes.
Roll their treasure and magic items first.
It's the Gwydion's
before
on.
the encounter.
So the idea is not to discourage anyone from writing their own world setting.
No.
The idea is to show realistically that it's going to be a large project, and then we're going to show you how to break that project down to make it manageable.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
We've got shortcuts.
again, if you've played Curse of Strahd and you love Ravenloft, there's a whole lot more Ravenloft that the box set's going to give you, and some of the supplementary materials going to give you to keep you playing in Ravenloft. Adventures that don't necessarily deal with Strahd. Strahd is a figurehead, but the world of Ravenloft is so much deeper than him.
So I have 2 box sets from Ravenloft. One is the original box set, Ravenloft, and it's about the world setting. The second one I have had 5 books in it. It's about the different houses in
Barovia?
Barovia.
Mhm.
So it's not even an adventure. It's just 5 accessory books about the houses in Barovia.
Yeah. This is one of the things that's interesting too about older content that you'll see as we get into this. You can you can be in the city of Greyhawk from level 1 to level 20, never leave the city,
Never leave the
and
city.
have an incredible series of adventures. And you get a different flavor. Definitely, Quinn, you've probably seen some of this in the games that you've run. You've told me a little bit about where you've been in cities and you're dealing with thieves guilds and backstabbing and crime lords and all the different, it's
Sewer
just,
systems.
law and punishment.
Yeah.
So
City of Greyhawk does have a map of the sewer system.
Yep.
so
Yes, it does.
you know,
There you go.
but as you've seen and playing a lot of stuff, you go out and you're like, oh, I'm in the mountains. Well, that big giant walled city can be just as interesting, if not more, sometimes.
Oh,
Especially in like where the city is big enough to
Well-
contain skyscrapers, to contain catacombs, to contain.
Deadlands is one of the original settings for Savage Worlds, and that's the whole western frontier. That you're a small town.
It's honestly a good chunk of the U.S. Like it just cuts off
Well,
like the
and-
first 13 colonies.
Well, in
and then
terms of their map,
boom.
but I mean the stories, right? The stranger on a horse rides into town
Yep, with a dead look in his eye. Doesn't
Yeah.
look quite right.
because he's a zombie. But that's one of the things.
I
he
prefer
goes,
to call them hollows.
It's fine, but this is what I'm getting at. Even in other systems, the themes will have things that happen in and around cities. That's more than shopping, more than I need to go and polish my armor to go and kill goblins in the cave. And that's one of the things that can be helpful with these pre-built or commercial settings is you're going to have a lot of those locations available to you right out of the box that can help structure the low levels of your campaign before you realize that everything you've just learned to love is now under threat from the ancient evil that's risen and you have to go out to fight him.
And we discuss a lot of that in our world building on how to bring up these aspects that happened in the past and how to fit that into your world. Also, I want to mention that there's a lot of commercial products out there. Paizo, Pathfinder, the Flip Mat, M-A-T.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of flip maps out there. There's other companies that put out battle maps, and if you just look up battle map, you're going to get a plethora of companies that bring those things out. You can get Star Wars maps, a lot of spaceports and this, that, and the other that are just way cool. Stuff that's already done. You've got stuff that always goes on sale. Some of it's really cheap. You can download a PDF and print the thing out yourself. When you look at a printer, I'm printing maps at home and I'm doing it edge to edge. I'm making 3-foot by 4-foot maps for next to nothing because my ink costs $1.25 a cartridge. I know every one of you now hate me.
Yes.
And everybody just unsubscribe.
I hate having to go to places like Office Depot and
Oh,
such to
dude,
go
38
pick
and
up
50
my
bucks. Look at the medium that you're going to have to buy for that printer, especially if they say, hey, free printer. Say no. Or just walk up behind them, stuck, and take it, because, you don't
That's a
want
different
stuff
kind of
just for
free
free. Yeah. Look at the medium and the costs, and look at different places for where to get the medium, and find inexpensive medium. And the other issue is a lot of today's printers will not print edge to edge. The old MFC brother printers, 870s and so on like that, 49, 497s, and so on like that, DMs, which I like DM.
Yeah.
They
So what are you
have
doing
these
down there?
inexpensive
No
cartridges.
idea. What are you talking about? We're not plotting.
Yeah, plotting and planning. But look for older printers. Look for the medium, so on like that. But there's a lot of commercial out there. Look up BattleMap, because even though you're building your world, when it comes to your own homebrew campaign and you're trying to go through a wilderness or something like this, pop it down.
Yeah. One of the things I do want to mention too, you can sometimes find a lot of this. You'll be able to pull your maps over from a system, or you'll be able to get the box set or some of that information.
Mine as a PDF.
Well, once you get it, you can bring it into your VTT of choice. So Roll20 Foundry has a lot of flexibility.
Yeah.
So if you want to be able to play in those settings, and you're playing digitally or playing online or using that for your maps or whatever it happens to be, if you can find that content digitally, then it really helps enhance those virtual tabletop experiences as well.
Yeah,
So
or you actually build a tabletop.
Oh well, that's
Which is my next
Another
picture.
place you can find a large map. Go to Google and look for ancient maps.
Mhm.
And there's maps from the old world, the 14, 16, 1700s. They look really cool. They're the ones that actually have the little dragons out in the ocean. Those make great gaming maps. You can print it, but then I'll put a paper over it and I'll trace it with my own colored pencils and stuff.
Yeah.
So that it doesn't look too professional.
Looks stoled.
If you look up
Let's see.
Labyrinth,
There's also the problem of playing with friends who are history buffs, and they're like, "Wait, I
Yeah.
recognize this
Yeah.
region." And you're like, "Shut up!"
But I like those maps because they have the little sea monsters out in the ocean and the pirate X's on islands and stuff.
if you look up catacombs and you look up labyrinths and stuff online and in the world or ancient world even, you will see all of these maps of real places
Yes.
from all around the world, and you can copy and paste those and use those, as your particular area. There's
right.
so much in the real world to work with.
There's Beast has joined the chat, so I wanted to say hello to Beast there.
Yeah,
Beast.
beast.
Yeah, he was with us
Rodrigo.
at Geekmas.
Geekman.
Ah,
Beast.
what's up?
So that is pretty good. But we're gonna be definitely getting into it deep through the realms. It's gonna be a lot of fun this year. Are you trying to get chocolate?
Yes.
Then just ask for some chocolate.
I was trying to be
There's
unobstructed.
chocolate.
Oh, just-
Here's chocolate for you.
all right.
There you
So
Trying, but now it's on camera forever.
I don't know. This stranger gave me candy. I'm not sure.
Oh,
I heard he doesn't have pants on too.
Oh, jeez. That's the rumor right now.
I'm telling you, it's the creepiest voice ever. I'm Batman. We've heard this guy. I've got candy. So, we know this voice. So.
And Christian Bale is an axe murderer. I've
That's
seen it on
yeah.
film.
And he's
Yeah.
driving around in a dark vehicle with black windows. I don't know.
And Robin
I'm just-
doesn't wear any pants.
Yeah,
That's the
it's,
answer.
Robin is also not right.
Oh man.
I'm out. Need a new dealer.
Oh, so we've covered quite a bunch there. What do you got there
Tastes
from me,
better
Troy?
when stolen.
Somebody's asking about Savage Worlds.
Uh-oh. We got a question for Gwen here.
No.
Oh no.
Yelling from Beast.
Chan,
What is
why?
Wait,
Why Chan?
Let me switch.
Oh, he's looking at.
Hold on.
Okay.
Hang on.
Go on.
Camera's here. There we go.
Let him do his 10-minute infomercial speech.
Yeah.
Savage Worlds is a generic role-playing system developed by the Pinnacle Entertainment Group.
He's got a spiel.
Wait a
He
minute.
does this all the time.
Where's the-
He's worse than Gwydion with Incarnate.
Its original, its grandparent was
Call
the
now.
original.
Operators are standing by.
But
Its
wait,
grandparent
there's more.
was the original Deadlands. Deadlands came first. It's
'Cause it's a
gaming
guy.
system,
Yeah.
which Savage Worlds uses every die type. It uses cards for initiative. It uses poker chips for benefit throughout the game. It was designed around this, and then they went, this makes a great generic system. Turned around and created Savage Worlds. Now, if somebody asks me what is Savage Worlds, it is summer blockbuster movies, the game. The base handbook references Die Hard, Indiana Jones, Big Trouble in Little China. Watch those movies,
yeah.
you understand Savage Worlds. That's
Yeah.
kind of what it's doing.
Well, but at its core, it's a generic system. So it's a set of rules that structure your
Yep, it's a set of
characters.
rules,
Mhm.
structures your characters. It's not level based. It is
It's a skill
it's a skill system, and then you buy edges and perks kind of as you go along.
Right.
But its tagline is fast, furious, fun. Its strengths are its fast combat, its intuitive skill system, and its downside is that combat is fast. You
Yeah.
kill fast, you die fast.
Oh, like
So whenever I brag
Yeah,
about
like
killing
first edition had a
characters,
stack of
it's primarily
characters
in
that you
this
can play.
system,
On
and
3x5 cards.
it mentions it like, hey man, people die. These are Savage Worlds after all.
But some of this might be familiar to anybody that's played GURPS, which is all Steve Jackson's system. Steve Jackson also does all the Munchkin now, which has been great.
Here we go.
Yeah.
But
Gwydion, point above your head.
oh no, we got the GURPS.
There it is.
That's Encyclopedia
GURPS.
Magica.
GURPS.
Yeah, maybe-
Slightly down.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
It's fine. But hey, we got some more candy.
Ooh, pristine.
Yeah.
And Beast, I love your assumptions, man.
But
He doesn't ask questions. He just assumes based on.
Oh, he
rumors
knows
in the back
you.
of
It's
cereal
fine.
boxes,
Yeah.
so I'm loving it.
But what's interesting about it is being in levelless and classless, you can make just about any concept. And Quinn, you've told me there's like what is it, Cyber Cowboys is Deadlands,
No, Zombie Cowboys.
Zombie Cowboys, and then we've done superheroes.
Yep. They have theme books. They're not necessarily setting books.
Right,
they're
well,
theme
because
books.
Cyberpunk was originally a setting for GURPS or a theme, as it was executed back when GURPS was around.
Now, Cyberpunk, they actually do have a full-on setting book. It's called Interface Zero.
Cool.
It's in its third edition. My players and I have talked about playing it, but we wound up going with Fallout, which I have to now design.
Yeah. Now, when you played Call of Cthulhu recently, was that the Call of Cthulhu game itself, which is available, or was it an overlay for Savage Worlds?
No, it was the Call of Cthulhu base game itself. We have owned those books for a good long while, and we have been meaning to use them.
You finally got a chance.
Finally got the chance to play Two-Headed Serpent.
There we go.
But yeah, Savage Worlds, they have a horror theme book, sci-fi theme book, fantasy theme book, and then they also have just setting. And the theme books always come with companion, horror companion, fantasy companion,
Okay.
superhero companion. The theme books are things like Deadlands, The Savage Worlds of Solomon Kane, 50 Fathoms, Interface Zero. It'll have a proper name, and you'll look at it and you go, yep, this has all of that pre-made stuff that I'm looking for.
Okay, and so that's another example, as we've been talking about, what's commercially available.
Mhm.
You get a base game system. So our base game system might be 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons, which definitely is meant to be or borrows heavily from Forgotten Realms. But we can go to Ravenloft and we can go to Greyhawk. Similar here, you've got Deadlands, you've got your sci-fis, whatever flavor you want.
Yep.
And if I remember, about a year ago, you were playing on something that was Bronze Age.
Well, that is also custom made, and that's one of the best things about Savage Worlds is that because it is a generic system, you can just grab a theme book, and they have a Dungeon Master's Guide, which doesn't have statistics, but it has advice on how to build out an adventure. And one of my first-time players, who I introduced Savage Worlds to, took 2 years while I was running a game to make his own world, and we are currently playing in it, and we've been playing it for about a year now.
Awesome.
There we go.
We
That's
love
awesome.
that.
So,
I love
I might share his work with you guys. He's got a world anvil on it. It's called the Land of Emberfall.
Well-
It says Bronze Age. It's Lord of the Rings with, by the way, their weapons are made of bronze. You know?
Well, if you want to really give
Milk when they're fired too much.
you really want to give Quinn something to do, hit him up in the Savage Worlds channel on the Discord, and he will talk to you about it as much as you
Endlessly.
want.
As much as Gwydion talks about anything else.
Anything. Freaking everything.
This is why they're on opposite ends of the table.
Yeah.
Because if we get next to
It's
each
not
other,
helping.
Oh man. See, we got some more responses.
That's
Chan,
right.
hopefully that answers your question there. That is what was confusing me.
It's
to hear the words and not
it's
realize
a
the system.
structure
Yeah.
of the game itself. Basically, character skills, character.
Mhm.
Now you both
progression.
aren't wearing pants.
I have.
Killed Spawn.
I will mention, because they're talking about D20, D10 systems. Savage Worlds is a die type system, so lower skills have fewer faces on the die, like D4. The higher skill, the more faces on the die, up to D12. The D20 is pretty much limited to tables.
Okay, yeah. So, but so you'd have like a DC or a target,
Which is
And
almost
it's-
always 4.
and it's easier to get more than that with a larger die face.
Exactly.
There you go.
And that's kind of how they do criticals, is rolling far above
Right.
what you're supposed to.
I love
Yep, there you
different systems. I love different gaming
Oh,
systems
I
and
am.
learning them because so many people have
He's
different,
eating the book.
so many
the
people
book
have
out.
different ideas, and all their ideas work
Oh, yeah.
within their own system.
Yes.
You know, and
Oh, I straight up. When it comes to sci-fi in particular, when you like borrow a technology here or try to theme something over there, you're like,
bless you, Mr. Producer.
you're like putting warp drive in Star Wars doesn't make sense because hyperspace, the way it works, is so much faster.
Yeah.
But,
Hyperspace is faster.
like a lot faster.
How much
Okay.
faster?
How much faster?
Piles
Uh,
and piles and heaping piles.
There's like it's so many parsecs faster. There's,
What's a parsec?
I don't know. Ask Han Solo.
Han Solo
but-
is
Parsec is a
wrong.
measurement of time that used to measure distance.
Yeah, he used
It-
it. He
it
used it wrong.
Use it wrong.
He did use it wrong, but
It's,
This
No,
is
it's a
the
measure
other
of distance that they used to measure time. You had that slightly.
a light year is the same as a regular year, but has less calories.
And that's our show for today, folks. Thanks.
Buzz,
God, you got me blocked in. How do I get the hell out of this?
You're the Scape guy. He's here
I
all
want to
week.
get out of this.
yeah, this is actually
But
his,
wait, there's more. Thank God you're not having to pay.
oh man. So, what I was getting at with the system, so some settings like Savage Worlds or GURPS, when they have themes that are appropriate to what you're playing in. Dad, you've borrowed a lot from
Oh.
GURPS. They had 2 magic supplements and a couple different things regarding
They
fantasy
have-
settings.
He has 3 books that are magic items and 1 book that is magic spells. And yes, I have borrowed extremely heavily from those.
Yeah.
In my world setting, there was a Dragon magazine from an article, I think it was page 176,
Volume number?
issue, volume. Anyways, about Magic University.
Oh, yeah.
So where wizards went to go to university to get a degree in specific, like evocation, invocation, different things. So I took this article and I said, this is really cool. So I brought them into my world setting and I put them in a special hidden place. And so if you as a wizard, when you're about 3rd to 5th level, you would get a letter from Hogwarts that says, hey, you've been doing great things and I'm going to be your sponsor. Well, you want to come to the great city of Magehome and go to the university. And everybody's like, what's that? So I took GURPS magic items and spells, and you have to be a member of that guild to get that magic items and those spells. And they are fantastic, off the wall. I'm gonna have to, maybe we'll show them. I'll do a show just on GURPS sometime, just to show them off. Fireball is nowhere in there,
No.
but they have other spells that make Fireball look like a cigarette lighter. So if you are a mage or a wizard, a spellcaster of any kind, and you go to Magehome as a guild member, then you learn how to make things like exploding arrows that do 10 die 6 fireball damage, and the glass rod that's a lightning wand of lightning, and how to make really cool things like that. And all your fellow character traveling companions like, where'd you get that?
Oh,
Can I
this
have one?
I made it in my class. I got a B on it.
And then there were those of us in old D&D that would create things like arrows that would take a bag of holding and upon impact put it into another bag of holding, creating a hole in space that did some fairly odd things for a while, and to anybody around it.
Yes, fairly
the,
odd things.
Yes,
occurred.
the first D&D, the very chainmail, before D&D was around, chainmail, and AD&D 1, or D&D 1, OD&D. They used chainmail a lot. We had to refer back to another book for tables and information and so on. And
no, he's gonna show me there.
this man's fireball was at one of its most powerful
Oh.
because
Yeah.
fireball did area devastation. It did not do
Yeah.
dice of damage.
Nope.
There was an area of devastation, and anything touching that area, touching the area or
Destroyed.
within it, was destroyed. You use a fireball spell in a dungeon, you could collapse the rest of the dungeon on top of everyone doing a TPK. That's where fireball started, and I think where he got his entry.
Fireball. So, if I may, some of the people who are following us on Twitch, I don't think are watching the same show that we're doing here.
Yeah, let's not refer to that comment.
No, no. You guys got a hidden camera with the
Just-
pants thing?
Let's,
That's
That-
Well,
it.
someone's being
that's-
compared to a Wookiee, and I'll just let that one sit out there.
I don't know how they got access to my room.
I don't
No.
think they're watching the same show we are.
No,
You know what? As long as
I
everyone's
think they're
having
watching
fun.
the Star Wars Christmas special.
as long as they're paying the $24.95 a minute, I don't care.
That was when you were working for
I'm
Miss
about
Cleo.
I'm about to die as I say this.
It's a,
I've never seen a Star Wars movie except for the holiday special.
Guy with the Star Wars tattoo.
wow.
So, yeah, now apparently Quinn, so like HR did not check his credentials.
Evidently.
Ministry of
Hey,
Silly Walks,
I was-
Star Wars films.
I was brought on for D&D and D&D accessories. I was not brought on for Star Wars and Monty Python and all that crap
Listen here, Hank.
that nobody's ever heard of.
We'll expose them later, folks. We'll bring them up to snuff.
It's once he stands up and the pants thing will take.
what
Yeah.
it
Oh,
So
man.
we know you're going to have some questions when we start our actual series. Put those together. Get a hold of us on Discord. Give us your questions. We'll address those when we start up our series next month. We've got different ways that we're going to be building your worlds, and again, there's a general way, there's general aspects and things you have to think of, outside in for galactic addresses and so on like that, or inside out if you're dealing with a world and so on, or a couple of different things that you have to think about and the way to construct. But if there's specific aspects, and if you have a specific world or a specific edition or game that you're playing, give us these questions on our Discord channel. Go to our Facebook, give it to us there. We have all these ways to get a hold of us. Please get a hold of us. Give us your questions. Give us some of the things that you're running into, or some of your ideas that you're wanting. Give us some answers. We love answers.
If we can't answer it, leave a question there somewhere, because we have literally tens of followers that can help you with anything that we don't know.
We
off
have
the top of our head.
dozens.
At least 2 dozen.
Dozens.
That's right.
Wait, that's the donuts I brought.
No, we don't have those anymore.
Oh, those are
Well,
gone.
we do welcome your questions, comments on any of it.
Yeah.
It lets us know that people are watching, as well as keeps us actively involved in stuff, because it's not like we have enough to do.
Well, more importantly, when we get your questions, we can make sure that we're being of value. We want to provide the service.
Yeah.
And because there's way a lot to cover. We've drawn our points and the things that we've distilled come out of other books on this topic. So, we're trying to give the straightest answer we can give you, but if it's not useful, we want to make sure.
Could we do a question and answer and a giveaway? I got stuff we can give away over there.
Yes, I know, but do any of these people want stuff? Tell us if you want stuff. You guys want some stuff right now?
I don't have stuff.
Hello?
Hello.
No, I'm not saying anything. So,
Oh, now we picked up the. No.
so the first person asking the question that we have to look into a book for, I have a 5th edition DMG still in the wrapper sitting over here that we can get to you.
Yeah.
Ask a question that we got to look in a book for the answer because it's not all up there.
Which is great because I'm so old. I gotta look in a book for everything, so this is gonna be easy.
Oh, come on, I was thinking about booting up
What's your
the.
address? Hold on.
It better
The
be
Gwydion-
obscure because I might know the
549.
answer off the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's the is that the beast?
So yeah, Beast's Curiosities. He's Joe.
You like that?
You like Hey, careful, he'll plan where to double your car you.
It probably will.
No, well, you remember we were talking to him when he was doing Pine Where W. Yeah. Oh gosh. Oh gosh.
Not suitable for broadcast.
Uh,
A question about the game, anything.
Yeah, again.
I don't know. I could gotta go for the Burt Reynolds bearskin rug thing.
Cosmopolitan.
Oh,
That
right,
was 1975, I believe.
That man knew how to do a mustache.
70,
Oh.
75, 76.
Yeah. That was a mustache.
Yeah.
That guy was a life support system for that mustache.
No, Burt Reynolds was better than that.
Yeah, he was pretty awesome. He was one of the fun actors from that era, the 70s and 80s.
Turd Ferguson.
Weepy goblins.
Oh, come on. Yeah.
Well, hold on. The
Can't do that.
Weeby
No.
Goblins came in. What's going on there?
Favorite of the Weepy goblins. I don't know who the Weepy
Oh,
goblins are.
Oh, yeah.
Chuffy!
Yes.
Chuffy's favorite. Now, my wife would say, the dragon would say that it's got to be Rita Big Bad. That it's got to be
That
Rita
makes
Big
sense.
Bad.
Yeah, I can see the
because
dragon.
Bride of Chuffy was
Yeah.
Rita Big Bad. She was Bride of Chuffy. So, yeah, Chuffy's got to be my fave. I have that. As a matter of fact, I have printed that whole thing out and the maps and have given it away as a prize, and I may do that again. I may get the entire
That's usually
Weeby
one of our
Goblins
raffles
campaign.
at
Yeah.
like a con or
and
something.
with the maps made and,
Yeah.
and so on like that
Mhm.
as one of the major prizes.
I've seen people look at that and go, "What is this?" And then as soon as they start reading it, they start laughing and walk
Oh
up.
yeah,
Oh,
and that's what it's all about.
It's
and
great
when
fun.
all of the characters,
Great fun.
you have to have your characters voicing their.
Oh yeah, you
voice-
gotta be because they've got
You gotta be a
lingo.
goblin when you're in there. I mean, okay, I'm gonna drop this pumpkin. Catch it in your mouth.
And we had the goblins actually find and abscond an airship.
Oh yes.
So they were looking to get other groups to join them. So they had all these games, and one of them was catch a watermelon or pumpkin, which everyone they picked up because they robbed a farm, in their mouth. And I would roll a d4 to see if it was 10 feet from the ground or if the ship had raised to 40 feet. And it's like drop.
Ah, he caught it. He can be one of us. Wait, he's dead. Okay, new rule. Must catch and not die.
So
New rule. Everybody okay with new rule?
So
Yeah, you can join the crew, but we need to get a tombstone for him already.
yeah. So no, it's that is an absolutely hilarious game. I recommend that. And we actually, at the end of the Weeby Goblins campaign, I took the Dungeons of Galarian,
Oh yeah.
and we the goblins went and started going in to take over the dungeons. And so they would clear stuff out. They would clear out adventures that they would come across. They would befriend monsters.
Okay, that's already your area? Okay, that's fine. Yeah, we got dead long shanks up there. You can eat them.
Mhm.
So we're going here. So you don't bother us.
So we'd go down, and so on. And it's one of those games where if you got 2 or 3 people, the dungeon master can actually be a character in the campaign because it's
Right.
railroaded in such a way as there are certain magic items. Yeah.
Well,
There's
it's
certain magic items that they need to find before the next module.
what's funny
and
is
certain
it has a
effects.
specific progression.
Yes, it does.
As a campaign, it's one of those. So
But at the end of that, it's open game, and you get to where you just don't want to stop playing it
Mhm.
or the characters.
well, we have seen Lance plays a goblin in a 5th edition game.
Yeah.
So who was it? So one of the Guide to the Multiverse book. I think.
Bob.
Well, they've
No,
got
no.
rules now for full orcs, and I really want to try playing a kobold
That would be cool, yeah.
just because it's goofy.
We in our D&D campaign, we had a gal that played a winged kobold,
Oh, okay.
and my dwarf cleric, which is one of my faves, to play. His family was killed off by giants that employed kobolds to do their dirty work, so he
Yeah.
hated them. She ended up making a holy symbol with all this stuff she found, borrowed, with all the, I mean, it was elaborate, it was expensive like
Yeah.
this as a peace offering. So then it's like, now I got to protect this thing, you know. So, but all other kobolds are still on the plate.
Yeah.
But a winged kobold, it's a cool thing. As an assassin, fly up, shoot, go back down and hide.
Winged kobold sword, blood dragon. Yeah, blood of the dragon sorcerer.
Now I've got an Asmir right now in
Yeah.
a campaign that looks like Dragonborn.
Oh yeah.
He isn't actually Dragonborn, but he looks the part. So when he was grappled, I looked at the guy and went, opened my mouth, and he's like, "Ah!" You know, I'm trying to, I haven't got a breath weapon, but he didn't know that. So
Got a
Depends on
question
if
here
you-
from
Yeah.
Goblin Chan.
Oh yeah, we got Chan.
Asking to know what the best D&D multi-class character is. I recommend Bard and Barbarian. You get the Barbarian.
Yeah, Mr. Producer really likes the Barbarian.
Druid Rogue.
Druid Rogue is fantastic.
Druid Rogue is amazing, and it's one of the most popular out there in that retrospect.
You had one earlier, Quinn.
Well, I have quite a few. The
One,
most
pick
useful
one.
the most useful one is Absurd,
Yeah.
which is you take a level in every class.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't do that.
Well,
My
because-
personal favorite though is Tempest Domain Cleric crossed with Stormblood Sorcerer.
That one's a cool setup.
yeah.
A player character in one of my old campaigns became the BBEG with that build.
Yeah. And that's something you all need to do if you've got a character and you kill them off. Make them a hireling henchman or a BBEG in your next campaign.
Well, I
Oh,
actually
it's
did
just
that with
funny.
a character that I retired because Jester over there almost killed him.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was
Almost? Almost?
Yeah.
Try harder.
well, I couldn't kill him, so I had to chill. It
You
was
rolled a
weird.
1. That's as hard as you could try.
Anyway.
Was it behind the screen?
No.
No.
So I had this orc guy, and he was tied up because this giant monster was trying to pull him into a well with a tongue wrapped around him. So then Jester's character runs over with his axe to try to free me, rolls a 1, sinks the axe in my dude's brain pan, but he survives and breaks the axe whenever it sunk in. So I retired him, and he is now like a war chief for a goblin party, and he has a broken axe blade still in his head.
Which is way cool.
My favorite is a classic. It's you do fighter, magic user.
Mhm.
Pick one. Don't necessarily need to do fighter with Eldritch Knight, but it can help a little bit if you're going to get into the magic. But if you do 3 levels of fighter and then 5 levels of magic user, you can have access to fireball at level 8 instead of level 11.
Mhm.
And Gwydion, you actually just had a character that you took a level of fighter and gained like 100,000 hit points.
Well, it was a sorcerer. It was a sorcerer and 3rd level, and we were going up a level, and they're like, "What are you going to do?" I'm going to take a level of fighter, so now I get 50% more hit points at the start. I get the I could 2-weapon fight now as a sorcerer. You might not want to, but you know there is close fighting.
Sometimes you might have to.
Yeah, sometimes you might have to. And second wind, all of a sudden I got free hit points.
yeah.
And
As
as
a-
a sorcerer, that's like uber useful. So yeah, and that's why I also mentioned the Druid Rogue, because there was a friend who was a Druid and he was having fun with that, and he goes, "Well, 4th level, what should I do?" And everybody at the table went, "Rogue!" You know, it was just it was like his hair blew back. You know,
Now, I do have to quickly say that he did ask for the most useful cross class, and you don't even need to multi-class if you just pick wizard. They will do everything
Eventually,
else that everyone else can do.
Did
they can even heal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They can, yeah.
I actually just made a
just
character.
play a
I had,
20th level wizard.
He's a,
Screw everyone.
he's a monk and cleric mix, and I
Yeah.
made him as like one of the warrior priest monk
Mhm.
dudes.
So I don't know.
Quite chain. So
But
So
as
you'll punch
far-
a guy a couple times,
So
and then
it's-
I'll cast lightning bolt, and we'll see who does more damage.
Fireball.
sometimes it's the punchy guy. But as far as useful, a fighter magic user, as far as dynamics of the party, especially if you've got a smaller, like a 3-person party, a fighter magic user is suddenly way more useful than just a straight paladin. But if it's going to be a cleric, it should be a dwarf cleric of tier. And you just go smash everything with your hammer.
Yeah.
Because
Or
there's
spiritual hammer while you're doing other things.
and then smite, and then
Yeah.
beer, and then more beer, and then now there's some breadcrumbs in your beard, and then you just go and smash something. It's
You get a fire domain cleric. That way
Yeah.
you can also get fireball at level 3.
Yeah.
fire domain cleric with
If you did it.
fireball.
Yeah.
Fireball.
Actually, so that was what was so threatening about the Storm Domain Cleric with the Storm Sorcerer, is that their Channel Divinity lets them max out thunder or lightning damage,
Oh.
and Shatter is like Fireball minus, but at maxed out, it's plus, especially at Upcast.
Okay, I've got a question for everybody.
Boom!
I've got a question for everybody out there, and this includes YouTubers years down the road. Is anyone playing a Cavalier?
Oh yeah.
Anybody?
I do in 2nd edition.
Oh, no, my
Dude,
phone
They
died.
don't exist in 5th edition.
Well, they do. They were added as part of the
In-
expanded content,
in-
but
here lately, yeah.
yeah.
Oh, so I haven't got
Oh,
my
shit.
expanded content.
Only,
No, Xanthars.
only if they take a
Xanthars.
patron goddess of Chevrolet
And follow it.
and
Follow
follow
it.
it.
That's right.
So
The propitiation's a little.
I love
Eh.
I love a good barbarian. I love a good old 2nd edition ranger. I would dual class him with archer, which is a class that came out in Dragon magazine.
Yeah.
As an archer ranger, they are devastating.
They're the Legolas.
Yeah,
Oh, they are
the
legless. So I love a fighter magic user, elf. That's just one I have a lot of that character.
Mhm.
But the ones that I like being sneaky on, because there's times when everybody looked at Dave, oh, he's a nice guy to come play D&D with. Well, if I had a little gnome illusionist, he wasn't a gnome illusionist. He was a gnome assassin illusionist.
Yeah.
And gnomes are a race that always try to be happy, and if you make them do evil things, they turn wicked crazy.
Yeah.
And so I never actually had one survive past level 7 because of it. But an assassin gnome illusionist, because I can hide myself. I'm going to go hide in darkness 100%.
Yeah.
Just put illusion in front of me. I'm going to go open that door. I'm going to have trouble opening that door. I'm going to create an illusion of the hallway and the door. And now I can spend all the time I need to open that
Mhm.
door.
Yeah, minor illusion is a flat 2D illusion,
Yeah.
and it's very
And
easy.
You can. I'm going to sneak into somebody's room. I don't want them to see me. Another illusion. Doo-doo-doo. And you just walk right on in.
Mhm.
And they never see you. And suddenly, think, and you just walk out. And everybody's like, why is he bleeding?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
had a dwarven thief that used a bag of holding to hide in corners. I would climb into, set the bag into the corner, climb into the bag.
I hope there's a really tall ladder in there.
So find a bag of holding, tie it off, take
I
it
mean,
with me.
So we got
Can
Campbell.
why not?
In the bag,
It's a
no
bag of
way.
holes. Why can't there be a tall
We
letter?
got several going
All
back there.
right, there you go.
Shut up.
So, especially. Oh, Kendrick's?
No, I do have
Cavalier's
I do
Paladins.
have a comment as well. Now, if you're DMing and if you're running a campaign, don't just use one
of the angry monkeys
encounter. Start
That would be terrifying.
Start
for
working
Connor.
with
He's full of
more than
demons.
one encounter because you've got some distraction going on. Add a swarm
No.
with the encounter because there's some distraction there. Add other little scary things, or some of their minions have, bigger BBEGs have a lot of levels of little ones. So look at interactions between some of the subordinates. You can have orcs, you can also have goblins, and you can have interactions between them, but still ultimately they're coming after
Oh.
you. So you may see a couple of goblins, then all of a sudden here's a hobgoblin or here's an orc. There's swarms coming up, or there's things that come in from other areas. There's all different directions. But
we got
one. Yeah.
Gwydion?
Yes.
All right, you guys ready?
All right.
How's this for a wand? Talking about swarms. Wand of angry monkey swarm.
Love it.
Connor,
Like-
start
I love
screaming
it.
in the
It's
comments.
just, it's they were talking here, beast. Oh, I missed him. It
My
managed to go to the
favorite
very
swarm
bottom.
creature is
A
an army
wand?
of gnomes. They had they start rolling out the heavy, they start rolling out the heavy crossbow on wheels like a ballista. And
Mhm.
it's amazing.
Swarm of gnomes. No, swarm of angry. From a wand.
Yes, from a wand.
Swarm
You're like,
of angry monkeys.
I'm loving that. Loving
my
that's
brother.
that's somebody's got
You
to
get
have that.
like a bunch of
My brother is
macaws.
screaming
Oh,
because he's
yes.
phobic of monkeys.
Yeah. The back in the days when back in the early days when it encouraged you to create spells in the game, there was a great encouragement to create spells in the game that's kind of left the game. Everybody's,
I see more magic items than spells. Yeah.
There's more magic items, and people are looking to maybe create or use, or they just go with the tables and what they're given. There was a real drive to create magical spells. So the very first magical spell that was ever created in D&D when I was playing back in 74. Thank you,
You sound so
Q.
angry about it.
You know who you are. Control sphincter. I'm
Sounds
not
like a
going to
spell
go
my
any
dad
further
has
than
made
that.
up.
I'm not even going to explain some of the stuff that went on. But that was the very
And on that
first,
note,
that was the very first spell created in
your-
our
in
campaigns.
your-
in
in
our
your
little
world, in your world,
our world.
some of us are not that
So what you're
intrusive.
saying is on the first day God said, "Let there be light," and on the second day He said, "Let me control sphincters."
Let me control
That was the first
sphincter.
spell created.
Yeah, that's right. That's the spell created.
Oh my goodness. Ah.
It's that game where you have to pick a superpower and someone else has to pick the downside. And... I wish I could impersonate anything. And the second guy says, "Can only do it by farting."
Yep.
Wow.
Same thing. I wish I could fly.
And all I see in my mind is, "Excuse me, mind if I ask you a question?"
Oh jeez.
Amazing.
What's your name? How do you spell that?
PH.
Oh gosh. So
Well, guys, we have destroyed this
Any
episode.
sounds.
We've absolutely destroyed this.
We-
episode.
we-
We
so,
need to cut off
well-
the last 15 minutes. Edit
Let
and
me
just
check
let
my
it-
script.
let it
This
hit
is
the
what
cutting room
happens when you
floor.
go to fan-generated
Oh,
content.
no.
well, that's what
Let it
happens when we
hit
talk
the
about
cutting
Savage
room
Worlds.
They were asking.
Yeah,
For
we're completely off script here.
It's
We
fine.
are.
So let's review.
And I love it.
You know who we are and what we do.
Yeah.
I haven't got a
Uh,
clue.
Who am I?
Yeah, I don't know. We talked a little bit about last year and the fun that we had.
Yeah.
We talked a little bit about this year and the fun that we are going to have.
Yeah.
Then we had way too much fun.
And then we had fun. Yeah.
A little bit about D&D Through the Ages. Please check that out if you haven't. That is available all on YouTube. We've got 2 more chapters on The Thief coming out. That's 3rd and 4th edition, as well as 5th edition. And we've got a live stream next month starting our Through the Realms series. That's going to be Forgotten Realms.
Yeah.
So that is the wrap up. Also, Wand of Monkey Swarm, Angry Monkey Swarm,
Angry Monkey's form.
and unfortunately, Control Sphincter.
Yeah.
Control angry monkey swarms.
I need my mommy.
Oh, geez. So,
I just need an adult.
Yeah, I think we all need an adult.
all right. So, bring us all in, Mr. Brewster, and we'll bring us all out.
All right, so we will be starting with you there, Borris.
Do we
All
have
right,
exit
guys.
music?
No, we don't. So, I'm Jester Borris with I Want to Be a GM, and I was joined today by.
Troy, the Planescape guy.
Gwydion, the long-winded.
Quinn the Fighter.
You guys are going way too fast for me.
What are you doing way too fast? There's
Well,
a
we
one
passed you.
camera.
We should have
There's
left
3
it on the one
cameras.
camera.
Here, you know what? You know what? You know what? Bam.
Oh, you're
Got
doing
everybody
bam, 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 bam.
So if you guys can do production work, Mr. Producer might be dead soon.
I thought you were just doing
Yeah,
from this
But
camera, right?
good
here.
luck beating my salary of free.
That's true.
Hey, we
Damn.
will double that salary. We will double that.
We can find somebody more qualified. You bet. We'll triple it.
That's right. But
Uh,
wait, there's more. Now, how much would you pay to be a part of this crew?
oh, I'm gonna go home now.
We're all going to your house too.
Ah, crap.
You need to dress me up at the psych ward before you go home.
Indeed. So I'm Jester Borris with
I'm
I Want to
gonna
Be a
go.
GM. Joined again today by.
Us, Troy, the Planescape guy.
There you go.
Thanks for showing up, Chan and
Beast.
We got
Beans.
Artisan Goose, Beast. Yep.
And I can't find. We had a lot of comments. I love it. Keep it coming.
And-
Like, subscribe. See us again sometime soon.
Thank you, Connor
Wait.
Man, for joining us.
Tell you, man.
Gwydion the long-winded. God bless y'all. We're having a blast. We want you involved. We want your questions. We want your information. We want to help, and we need help.
Do we ever?
Oh,
What?
I don't know, Beast is no, who's somebody?
Necessary, what?
There it is. No, Chen says, don't forget to put pants on before standing up.
Yes. No. We'll turn the cameras off before standing up.
No, see, we'll leave the cameras on, Chan, but that goes behind the paywall. So
Yeah, you have to go to our OnlyFans. OnlyFans at I want to be a GM.
Hey. That's a classified.
Before long, we'll be anime.
Oh, that's
We-
later. That's 2 years from now.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody.
Yes, we're done with the formal
Love you,
outro.
miss you, bye.
Catch us
Miss
next
you
time,
already.
and we'll see you on
Thanks for
Discord.
putting up with me.